Hello everyone, I hope you are well. I thought today we would do a healing and activation with this beautiful smoky Lemurian quartz. And you can tell it's a Lemurian because of these lines which hold knowledge. And it is said that the Lemurians planted these and hid them in the earth before the fall of Lemuria. And how we work with them is we hold our fingers on the ridges and point them towards each chakra. So most of you have probably seen the sort of peachy coloured Lemurian. Some of them are green, some of them are blue. Okay. So before we start, just get yourself comfortable. And I want you to take a breath in and release that breath and relax into it. And then another breath into your stomach and breathe out, relaxing into that breath. I'm just going to hold this polychrome jasper pyramid. I'm going to ground you with this. So I'm going to hold it over your head and draw it down your center line. All the way down to your feet. Feel your body getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And from your feet, golden roots will spread out into the earth below you, downwards and downwards and downwards they grow, pushing through the foundations of your building and through the soil and past the rocks. Some of those roots will root into the crystal and mineral veins of the inner earth, and others will travel down further and further and further until they reach the very center, the very core of the earth, where they find a giant crystal to root and surround, keeping you held tight to Mother Earth. And the energy of those crystals will rise up as we go through the meditation. Now we need to protect. And I'd like you, I've just been shown angel wings to protect you with, so I'd like you to imagine angel wings enfolding you, like a swan folds them around her cygnets, and they're gentle and they're fluffy. We're going to call in the Lemurian crystal keepers and your guides and your guardian and healing angels to surround you and keep you in their love, trust and healing. I want you to imagine that you're going to walk through the doorway behind me, just over there, past the standing stone. And there's a crystal pathway. And I want you to start following that pathway as I just draw the daikumyo above your head. Daikumyo, daikumyo, and then draw that down through body. And that is the Tibetan Daikumyo from Shambhala, and it is said that the Lemurians spread around the globe, and some of them ended up in Tibet. So just keep walking down the pathway. I'm just going to gently clear your aura. Keep walking the crystal pathway, and as you round the bend, a great big crystal mountain appears in front of you. And the pathway leads right to the bottom of it, where you can see a little crystal cave opening. And we keep walking, knowing we are very well protected. You may even want to visualize your guardians and angels and guides with you. Perfectly safe and perfectly secure. Closer and closer to the mountain now. And we stop outside, just pausing. Before we step over the threshold and into the crystal cave. It takes a few moments for your eyes to adjust to the darkness, and there, within the geode of the mountain, little lamps and candles are pushed into the crevices. And as your eyes become adjusted and accustomed to the dimness, you find that you're walking over towards a crystal chair. And you sit yourself down. Ignore that rumpus of the dog outside. Sit yourself down on the crystal chair and plant your feet steadily together on the ground. And out of one of the archways in this wonderful crystal place, one of the Lemurian crystal keepers steps out. Don't worry if you can't see them, just trust that they are there with you. And they hold a large Lemurian quartz. And before they start activating the chakras, they're going to link in with your energy and just rest their hands on your shoulders. And they tell you to take a breath in and breathe out any anxiety and worry. They tell you to take another breath in and to breathe out any pain and anguish. And then they stand in front of you and they ask you if you would like the activation of the Lemurian Quartz. And if this is something that you accept, then they will start. And if not, perhaps just enjoy a gentle healing from this Lemurian crystal keeper. So the Lemurian guide calls in the light. And they call the light to come down into themselves and into you. And a great big beam of light enters the cave and travels down towards you, entering the chakras above your head and your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar, your sacral and your base, traveling out and right into the lower chakras below you and into the earth. As you look at the crystal keeper, the same has happened to them and they have totally lightened up. And you also radiate a beautiful, colourful energy. If you look down at yourself, you can see that colour being emitted from your aura. It may be just one colour or it may be many. And the crystal keeper is going to work on the crown chakra right above your head. And they hold up an amethyst, just opening that energy center. And then they take the quartz and they carefully place their fingers along the ridges and they hold it above you, asking from the light codes of Lemuria and the information stored within the crystal to be downloaded into the crown. You may instinctively be seeing colours or the light letters, the fire letters. You may feel energy, but equally if you feel or see nothing or hear nothing, don't worry, just trust that it is working. Relax, relax. Nobody wants anything from you at this moment, and nobody needs anything from you at this moment. The crystal is lifted away, and the chakra amethyst crystal just seals that into your crown. Next, the crystal keeper holds up a lapis lazuli just in front of your third eye. And then they take the Lemurian and they start to rotate it right into the middle of your forehead, bringing in those light codes, any fire letters or symbols or light language, helping you to open your intuition. And they spiral that energy in. Breathe out. And then it is sealed in with the lapis lazuli front and back. Next, the Lemurian holds up a Lemurian calcite to your throat. Again, they pick up the crystal, holding those ridges, and shine in those light codes, that knowledge, the healing from past lives and past times, opening and activating that energy center so that you can speak your truth unhindered, and if that is a word, so that you can communicate for the greater good of yourself and everybody else. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax, relax. Seal that in. With the Lemurian calcite, and over around the back of you at the throat chakra at the back. Okay. Now they move down to the heart center, and they open it up with a beautiful piece of green malachite. Taking the Lemurian and spiraling in the information, forgotten memories and healing, your forgotten loves, the things that you loved to do in that lifetime, and any knowledge of heart healing that you have forgotten. And it is said that at the time of Lemuria, we were bodies of light, light codes ourselves. Taking that breath in and releasing. As the healer seals it into your chakra with malachite, they reach around the back of you, sealing it into the back of the heart chakra. Another breath in and breathe out. And now they move down to your solar plexus, and they hold up this bumblebee jasper. Pointing that crystal towards your solar plexus and bringing in the light codes from this time. Imprinting any information, repairing any DNA and any memory of DNA, perhaps even activating some of those strands that are not in use now. Giving you the power and the beauty and the confidence that you would have had in those ancient times. Remember, this is like your I am center. This is your main energy center, the drive that it gives you, the oomph, the passion in a way as well. And all of those other chakras work through this one. And they seal the solar plexus with the bumblebee jasper. And they reach behind you to the solar plexus and seal it in at the back. For those of you who are just getting a healing, your Lemurian is working down your body at the same pace. And breathe out. And now the crystal keeper holds up some Australian mookaite and opens up the sacral chakra. Again, they pick up the Lemurian quartz, holding those ridges to activate them and shining it into your sacral. Restoring your body back to when it was really healthy, when you were younger and you had no aches and pains. Giving you a bit of rest and respite if you suffer from pain in this area, absorbing any of that energy and light codes, light letters, fire letters as we call them as well. Anything that is needed to restore you to optimum health, optimum emotional equilibrium. They seal it in just a couple of fingers width below your belly button. And you reach around you to the back of the sacrum area and just seal it in at the back as well. And then they reach the root chakra. They take a piece of jasper I'm going to show it here, but I would be reaching underneath you. So they're just going to reach underneath your chair and they're going to open that energy center. And then they're going to angle. I want to show you, so I'm going to angle it downwards. shining those light codes, those fire letters, repairing that DNA, ethereal, physical, bringing those light codes into you, the bands of information. Breathing in and breathing out. And if you do not feel at home here, they are going to help with this as well. Because this is your home now. You have decided to incarnate on the earth at this time. So this is your home. Place a hand on your shoulder and they're just going to shine it in. From underneath you. Breathe in and breathe out. And they seal it in, shining it down with the jasper, reaching under your chair. And just sealing that energy center. And they place a hand on your shoulder. And they take the flat side of this, holding it over your head. They shine it and seal it in. Underneath you. And back, up the back line and over the top. That's the dog again. A second time. That's the dog eating. My partner's dog. And over the top again. Now he's drinking. Never work with dogs or children. Relax, relax. And now the Lemurian Crystal Keeper places hands on your shoulders just to ground you in again. And they tell you to breathe in and out again. And then they walk over to the side of the crystal cave. And they pick up something and bring it back to you and ask you to put your hands out. And they place a crystal into your hands. One that you need at this moment. And don't worry if you don't know the name of it. Just work with the colour. And they tell you just to place that into your heart, which you do now. And the healer finishes the healing on you if that's what you decided, and they've also given you a crystal too. And they thank you for coming today. And they invite you to come back anytime. And then you say your goodbyes. and they melt back into the cave behind the cathedral-like stalagmites and stalactites. And your guides and your angels come closer and they help you up by your elbows. And then you walk out of the crystal cave. And you start walking back along the path. And as you're walking back, I want you to grow those roots out of your feet again. And I'm just going to brush you down with the selenite as you walk back along the crystal pathway. Back through the beautiful landscape of Lemuria. Following the path with your guides and your angels and your guardians. Until you see the standing stone marking the entrance to the doorway, back into your life, back into your timeline. And you turn and you emerge out of that doorway. And then you just sit down back in the room that you are in now and take a breath in and a breath out. And I'm just going to run the polychrome jasper down you again, just to ground you. And you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe a bit of dry brushing to bring you back. And thank you for joining me today. Peace above you, peace below you, and peace all around you. Lots of love and bye-bye.